Yeah, this movie pretty much turned out exactly like I thought it was gonna. Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing good out there. Just got back from watching Carrie, of course, the remake of the famous Brian De Palma film based on the Stephen King novel of the same name. Just to right off the gate, this movie is just a lackluster version of the original one. And I know I'm pretty kind to remakes, but this one is just the Brian De Palma movie had style. This movie lacks style. I would say that's the biggest knock. And my second biggest knock on this is the special effects. They had all these years of technology on their side, and they were so uncreative with the special effects. It just descended into bad CGI. And if they would have just took a hint and made the cinematography a little bit interesting, blended it with the special effects, but no, you didn't get none of that. If you've never seen Carrie, it's basically the coming of age story of a girl with telekinesis who's raised by a fundamentalist religious mother who's abusive, and at school she's abused by her peers and bullied. And of course, this day and age, that's a big angle to play, and they play it, of course, videotaping the bullying, all this blah, blah, blah. At the end of the movie, she goes haywire and makes her enemies pay. She crushes her. So, yeah, and as far as Carrie goes, the character herself, Chloe Grace Moretz does a decent job. I just feel that Sissy Spacek looked a lot more frail. This girl has nice thick lips, nice thick head of hair. It looks good everywhere except for when you film her pretty much directly on and she's making a stupid face. Sissy Spacek just had a look to her that's kind of weird and, like, you know, just like I said, the entire character of Carrie herself just plays better in the 70s, 60s, you know, maybe early 80s. But now knowledge is still available. It would be so hard to be this naive. And, you know, I mean, she knew what breasts were. She might know what a menstrual cycle is. And another thing with this movie is all the men are complete idiots. All the boyfriends are idiots. They just do whatever the girlfriends say. They don't care. The principal is a freaking moron. He can't even say menstrual cycle, and he's probably, you know, a doctorate level education, which was so stupid. That was just dumb. Every male in this movie's depicted stupidly. I don't know why the script let it go that bad. And then the one thing too, which I complained about the original movie, this part of the original movie, how they always left it kind of a mystery. You can't tell if the one girl really wants her boyfriend to take Carrie to the prom, or, you know, it's just a more part of the prank to get her there or whatever. In this movie, they make it real clear the girl just feels guilty, and I guess from what I've heard, the book is exactly the same way. But looking back on it, Brian De Palma actually was smart to make it more of a mystery where it wasn't as clear. Because in this one, you're like, oh, he really does like her. Oh, he's not in with the pig's blood thing, blah, blah. And, you know, Brian De Palma, this shows why people that make movies that are good at it are better than the chumps that made this movie. They knew what to cut and what to, you know, add to make it better. And then the blood. This is a nitpick, but the blood they drop on her wasn't pig's blood. It looked like fake blood water. It is so thin. I'm like, blood that's been sitting for like 24 hours still. Well, first of all, it'd probably be just like a big blob, but it wouldn't be watery, that's for sure. After it caked on her, then it looked real. When it was caked on the floor, then it looked real. When they poured on her, the way they lit that scene looked completely like watery blood. But yeah, it just, like I said, I'm going to give the score of 2.5 out of 5. And it's an average movie, but I'm not going to recommend to see it because, you know what, they had so much good materials to work with. And if they would have used 1 ounce of creativity in the cinematography and the special effects, you know, twisted it up the tail slightly, it would have been better. And one more thing. How can you get born without an umbilical cord if you've seen the movie? Yeah. Just the movie just kind of bugged me on a lot of levels. If you guys seen the movie, let me know what you thought of it down below. Closer to the novel, not close to the novel. Sissy Spacek, better Carrie. Chloe Grace Moretz, better Carrie. Whatever.